So this is back to the one that we like the most, but we added 4 grams to the head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it. Hi everybody, you're about to see my in-depth fitting at Titleist Performance Institute, TPI, out in Oceanside, California with Lucas Bro. Stick around at the end of the video to figure out how you can win your very own GTS custom fit driver.
What's your handicap?
Right now it's about a 1. I've normally been hovering between like +2, +4.
Got it.
Historically.
Okay. Where does driver sit in the strength and weakness category of your game?
Strength.
Okay.
Normally 11 fairways around and like 290, 285.
Okay.
Just the fairway finder stuff. I can push it a little bit, but I don't in around.
Yeah. Keep hitting some. Let's get some numbers on this. And
cool. Yep. I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. Mitch, Joe, and Brad here with Lucas Bro out at Titleist Performance Institute, TPI. Beautiful day out here in sunny California. Lucas, you just took us through a few fits. From the differences that we saw from the GT line that I was playing now to the GTS, I love the movable weights, and it allowed us to do a few cool things in our fitting today. But what were your main takeaways from what you saw in terms of the differences, in terms of playability, accuracy, all that good stuff?
you know, the big thing that we're really focusing on in this launch is speed and stability. And what that really means is not every player comes to the table with both of those things. And GT was an awesome driver, had a ton of speed. It had great stability compared to old models. And when you're talking about split mass technology, which you'll get into the weeds with the R&D team and learning more about all the stuff behind that, you really can kind of compartmentalize both of those things. So the speed came from the face material, the crown material, all the things, you connecting with the ball a little bit better, getting the right model for you. And then the stability story is getting the weight in a place that works best for each one of your individual deliveries. So really being able to customize it, tailor it specifically to you. So it's not about just going and getting fit. It's about going and seeking a professional and spending 45 minutes on a driver, spend an hour on a driver.
Yeah. My favorite part of it was obviously with being able to move the weight from forward to back and vice versa. I wasn't swinging too well today. I'm a little bit rusty. We're coming out of the winter season in the north, right? But being able to go and move that weight to the back and have that maneuverability, so to speak, and adjustability allowed me to get the same kind of numbers when I was hitting it well, you know, today when I'm not swinging as well. Versus my driver, we weren't able to move that around. So I think that was great because I started swinging a little bit better. Okay, I can flip the weights around if I want to. But I
think a lot of people come to this facility and probably to fittings with you all as well, thinking that they need to be on an A+ day. In reality, if you're on an A+ day, there's not much for me to do as a fitter.
Sure.
Like you're already hitting it really good. There maybe isn't much to get there. I like when players come on a C+ day. And that's going to end up getting you your misses closer to your good shots. So the fact that you were a little rusty, I think it's the perfect day to work on things.
I agree with you.
I think the big thing for me is spin's pretty low. 2100 on a cut is pretty low.
Yep.
And so what ultimately happens is the one that starts a little bit left gets a little divey. So I always ask myself, like, when you see a low left one, you're swinging way more out to the right and you're shutting the face down. So I always ask, is that a reaction to a prior swing? So like this one where you had one of the lowest launches and highest, you were swinging 7 out and you're -1.5. So now you're 8 between these two.
Yeah.
So anytime you get past 2 degrees of difference, you start relying on your timing, you start relying on changing your golf swing to make the club work. I get the sense that you're trying to make that work rather than it kind of working for you, and then your swing starts to come with the club. That last one, you can do it.
Yeah.
So physically it's there.
Yeah.
For some players, it's physically not there. And you're kind of like, okay, I need to put as much help into the club as we can possibly get. So let's do the same thing we did earlier. I'm gonna have you hit the forward 4, and then we'll hit the back 2.
Okay.
And that'll kind of give us what we need.
Fair.
And then maybe we learn something, maybe we don't.
Yeah.
Kind of like our wedge philosophy where it's like blind grind.
Yeah.
You're trying to take fitter and player bias out of it. It's been kind of fun doing this to just, hey, let's hit them.
Yeah, why not?
See what happens. And then if it's good, hey, we learn something. If it's not,
great.
Learn something there too. Nice thing is we get to keep your shaft.
Yeah.
45 inches, not
upset about it.
I'm
I went
good.
from 45 and a half. I used to get more snappy.
Yeah, makes sense.
Thank you.
This is the 4 forward weighted.
Okay.
I'm challenging you a little out of the gate in the loft.
Cool. And you like standard versus flat? I was just curious. I didn't know if that was just defaulting or not.
My process is typically I put the car back to neutral.
Yeah.
And then I let you give me a reason to like start to do
anyway.
that.
Okay.
Because sometimes if better player, I usually try to put things closer to where you came in with, but you're struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
So I kind of go back to neutral and then work my way
I like
afterwards.
that.
So
Yeah.
just
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to pick your brain.
it's a process and I kind of stand firm with it just so I can have that checklist, but no wrong answer there.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Pretty hard left miss.
Yep.
This is 1900.
31.
Might be. 34. All right, let me see that. I'm gonna go down to 9. I jumped ahead a little bit.
That's okay.
Does this head look a little shut to you?
It does.
Yeah. Kind of been the thing that a lot of players like about this 4 is that it looks a tiny bit more closed than the 3, which kind of wraps away that old school toe wrap. Hole cutters, guys who try to do different things with it. So 2 very distinct looks, which is
No, that's fair.
There we go.
Felt more like home.
Yeah. There we
Felt
go.
good.
Now we're talking.
Yep.
Good, let me change you up.
Yeah.
Let's go to the 2 back weighted.
Okay.
We'll compare. Again, what we were saying before is from the forward weighted 4 to the back weighted 2, you're on opposite sides of the spectrum. It's about a degree, maybe 2 degrees of launch difference, about 1,000 RPMs. Not everybody sees that much,
Right.
but for the fitter brain, that's kind of your range between all the lofts.
Okay.
Obviously, if you went from a 9-degree 4 to a 10-degree 4, and assuming everybody hits it the same in center, you'll see launch and spin go up there too. So kind of just some different ways to paint on the canvas.
Love it.
So this is the 2 model, 9 degrees,
Okay.
back weighted. So this will be the most similar to what you walked in with.
Got it. Okay.
Night and day difference.
Bingo. That was
Really
awesome.
good. So you walked in with a 2 model in 9 degrees and spin was a little low. Well, I went to a 4 degree and a 10 and you found it challenging to hit center of the face. So that tells me that the loft takes precedent over the head style.
Okay.
I need to get you in 9 degrees of loft because you made really good collision. Now you need more spin. So that's where a 2 being back weighted
Yep.
starts
Adds
to,
the spin in there. You get the
Yes.
loft look,
exactly.
head look. It's square to me.
Yep.
Love it.
Sometimes it's the other way around. You got to go to the loft first because they walk in with an 8, they need an 11,
Yep.
and then you kind of fiddle with the head style. So it's cool that we can come at the same problem and the same solution from 2 different angles.
Yeah. No, it is.
And that's what adjustability does for you as a fitter.
Yeah.
Really good.
Thanks.
Really nice. Let me
felt
show
good.
you those.
Yeah.
You know, even if I was to be fair and take out the really big mishits from your driver, It was good. So if we're comparing like ball speeds almost identical. If not, you came to the table slightly faster in yours. Your launch is significantly different on average, a couple degrees. That's where I think you're going to get the stability in your ball flight. So you go up and carry, your peak height's great, everything's really good. And this is getting tighter. So it means good things are happening. You know, now you're starting to get into the nitty gritty of like, you asked about A1 versus a flat setting. Well, this is where it starts to become important because I could argue your ball was going left because you were starting to aim a little left.
Okay.
And then you're starting to draw it, which you weren't seeing in your driver. If I bias you too much from the club, you maybe can't self-diagnose on the golf course as easy. So there's always a pro and con list of, if I do a lot of changes to the golf club, then you make a compensation.
Right, versus seeing what's really going on.
But sometimes that compensation is really good.
Yeah.
So here's B1, flat setting.
Cute.
And so our hope here is, one, we can't compromise with hitting the center.
Yeah.
So if we hit center and the ball starts more on line or more where we want it based on what we feel, then that's positive. If you see one go here, then you're going to make one go here, and it starts to get funky. The nice thing is we're not debating over the head style. We're not debating over the loft. We're not debating over the shaft. Like right now, I feel like you're aimed down the left side of the fairway.
Really?
Yep.
It's probably because I've been pushing everything recently.
That's okay.
Yeah. No, I always tend to do that.
It's helpful to have a caddy.
It is. And I see it now too. Better?
Yeah, it looks great. Acceptable.
Yeah. In play.
It's tumbling. It's still 270 in carry.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a good miss.
Could that shaft feel any different, any better, any...
In comparison to, I mean, I've played this, I've played the TB before this,
Yeah.
played the BB. I've tested a lot and
Just that kind of always comes back as a
always
profile
comes
that you
back
like?
to this. I'm not swinging as well as I typically do, so
That's fair.
normally with mine, landing angle's about 40 degrees.
Yeah.
Spin rate's about 22.
Yep.
And pretty close.
Yeah.
But which is why I feel really comfortable still being in the GTS too.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not swinging well, I know where to go.
Yes.
And then when I'm swinging better, I go back to C1.
Yeah.
And I've got that, you know, back down pat.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would be interested in lower torque, but maybe a little bit firmer in the hands.
I'm into that.
Yeah.
Let's try some things. Hit that one more time because I want to see that B1 setting.
It's hit good. Just drawing it today.
You should play the lie angle that you hit in the center of the face easier.
Yeah.
And then it's start direction. In this case, there's no turf interaction, but an iron turf interaction would be a good piece. And then look obviously is important.
Yeah.
But I don't think a standard A1 looks bad to you.
No, it doesn't.
So.
No. I've typically, in the past, it's just been trying to guard against left.
Yeah, makes sense.
And I flip less than I used to.
That's good.
And I mean, I took probably 2 months off until like last week. Sure. So, but before then, my club path was getting to be about 1 degree from the inside consistently, and I could bring it across the path at the squeeze cut, but just don't have it.
Sometimes when you see players who have excessively flat clubs, and that's not excessive, but they kind of give themselves the okay to flip. And so you see this like slingy motion.
Yeah.
And sometimes you bring them upright, and all of a sudden it straightens out, and then so.
No,
Two different ways to do the same thing.
Agreed.
Again, what's nice is being in the ones.
Mm-hmm.
If you decide to go from A1 to B1, shaft doesn't change. You know, you don't have to twist it around. So as long as we're kind of around that area, super good. So let's go back to A1. Let's just try some different profiles.
Okay. Definitely a different kick.
Don't like that one.
I hear you.
like the GTS 2, excuse me, a lot more because I have two different weights I can go to. I can go forward, I could go back. Right now I'm hitting it a little bit lower than I typically do with lower spin. So having the weight back is great. But when I'm swinging well, I launch it much higher. Like my landing angle with mine today was 35, 36. I normally see that 40. So I get it. Yeah, too low a spin, too low a landing angle, thing's gonna dive bomb left. No wonder I hit it horribly a couple days ago. But when I'm swinging really well, it's launching high. So now I can flip the weight and go heavy forward and light in the back, shifting the CG a little bit more forward, bringing the spin down a little bit more, controlling it, which is something I didn't have a function of in the GT2. So that's going to be really useful for me when my timing's off versus when my timing's on. So I'm really excited about that. In fact, it's probably my favorite feature of the new head, being able to pull weight, you know, from back to forward and vice versa.
Softer in the tip, but firm all the way through.
Got this.
Yep, you're good. Love that.
I gotta watch it. That was pretty. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good, bad, and different.
I mean, it's a complete switch of feel.
Yeah.
I liked it. I don't know. It felt like.
I really like this.
Yeah.
I'm getting picky because we don't really have to change this very much.
Yeah.
This is more of just like.
I have some shoulder and neck issues, so going back to a 7X kind of scares me a little bit just throughout a round. Right now, I'm fine.
Yeah. Let's try a red part.
I like it.
For me, this is more just, you know, kind of scratching the itch.
Yeah.
Sometimes for good players, it's important to just try some different things so it's out of your head.
Yeah.
I don't hate that.
That was launch, but that felt really good.
Good.
First swing coming off like that, I'm intrigued.
That was nice. Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, that feels
good.
Yeah, feels really good. It's got like the kick that I want to feel, but it doesn't feel too soft.
I like to, this is my personal, I have all the heads, all the lofts. Spins jumped up a little bit. I want to try a different loft now.
I like it. Going 8.
Yeah. Going to C1's another way to do it.
Yeah.
But to me.
No, I'd rather go stock loft, have the ability up and down.
Yep. Back weighting's been really good.
Yeah. I like the back weight.
It keeps the left out.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the big.
Yeah, the big issue.
Yeah. Weight feel okay?
Yeah, what do you think we're at swing weight wise? Feels like
probably
D3.
D3. Could it be a little heavier?
Could be.
Okay. Let's confirm loft and let's play with weight a little bit.
Okay.
You know, the thing that I kind of keep coming back to is 9 degrees seems to sync up with what you're doing really well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fearful of this next swing.
Okay.
Because that was 1800 on a push.
Oh, shit. Okay. That is concerning.
Yeah. It's
lower spin, that's knuckling.
Yeah, it's falling out. Okay. It's good confirmation. You know.
The shaft is intriguing.
You know your game better than I do.
Yeah.
And when you get on the golf course, you got to have the club feel like you need it to feel. The safe thing for me to do is, one, those numbers are better than any other one that we hit. But if you go home and take that on the golf course and you see better results, I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah.
That's where the golf course and fitting start to deviate a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if I were going to say, hey, I need to go play in a tournament tomorrow,
you're going to...
I'm going with,
yes,
with blue.
Yes.
But, you know, taking something out, see out in the course.
Try it, yeah.
Try it. I'd probably say, let's try the red.
Yeah, I was going to say, of all the ones that we tested, that makes the most sense.
Mm-hmm. But I would agree with you. There's just, it doesn't sync up in the numbers quite as well, even though the feel responds well.
You got to fall in love with the ball flight first.
Yeah, you do.
I tell all my customers, like, data makes great decisions and feel validates.
Yeah.
It's like the feel's validating, but the data hasn't really made that decision.
Correct. So this is back to the one that we like the most, but we added 4 grams to the head.
Okay.
I can add more to it if it doesn't quite feel heavy enough, but just a good starting point. Yeah. Back to home.
Yep.
Ball speed, jump back up,
Mm-hmm.
15 launch, 22, 29 spin, 279 carry. I mean, that's, yeah.
Yeah. This is it.
Yeah. Could it feel heavier?
Let's try it.
All right, this is as heavy as I can make it here on the tee.
Okay.
So 6 grams heavier.
Cool.
Nice thing is we've confirmed all the things that are really challenging to change when you get home.
Yeah, that's right.
If we're debating about a little bit of weight, maybe a lie angle change, I think as a fitter, again, we go back to head style, loft, length of shaft, what shaft, all really good stuff.
Uno más. Thank you.
That's great. It's right in the same circle.
Right in the same circle.
Yep. 14 and a half, 22.76. I mean, these are all really good.
I like the previous weight.
That's great. I'm sure you know this, but if you shut a low score, like, you know what gets it done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how your body feels and moves in your hands and all that. Everybody's a little different. I'm not going to pretend like, oh, 2 more grams. It's like,
Yeah.
and when you get to like tour guys, they've touched and swung so many golf clubs that they just know what's kind of their neutral. And I'm sure you've done the same too.
To an extent.
The cool part is these are all of them.
Yeah. Same shaft and head combo.
Yeah, the green one is the Ventus.
Oh.
So I can just take that one out. But all these right here are all the same head, same loft, same shaft, just a couple different weights.
Yeah. And we still got the best numbers out of just the standard weight.
Yeah. And honestly, you're kind of going here. There's going to be some nuance to it. So like here were your strike positions. You're more towards the heel, so you're going to see those numbers be a little bit different. This one, you're more towards the center, but it didn't feel good.
Yeah.
Again, golf course versus driving range.
Yeah. Okay.
You can't make a bad decision between these 3.
No.
There's just preference now.
Yeah. I think it's
really good.
easy to go ahead and say it's either this weight or just the original.
Yeah. And you're not going to know that for certain.
Until I get out there and play with it a little bit. That felt like a flip and it stayed up.
Yep.
So.
I think that's the advantage of you playing at A1.
Okay.
So keeping the loft at face value, that was 13.7, 1974. So to me, remember your average spin of your driver was 2,000. So when you started missing it left, you were dipping down into 1,100, 1,500.
Yeah. And that was that's staying up in the air.
One was so bad I didn't even catch it. I think it was high though.
Don't pull punches, do you? Just messing.
I know you are. Oh, no, that one's in the maintenance yard, so I'm gonna get another phone call.
I think as the round goes on, I think that heavier weight's just going to be cumbersome.
You like the standard?
I like the standard. Yeah, it had the best numbers, and I just, however many swings I'm in now, I just felt like I might be fighting it just a hair. Because I like the start line of the A1 a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because I'm not worried about the push anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like I can post and just focus on my hands instead of path as well.
Most people like heavier swing weights.
Yeah.
Holes 1 through 15.
Yeah.
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 A little high in the face,
Little
but
fit.
good shot.
Not bad for a push.
There it is. Let's end on that one.
Yep.
You know, again, if I combined all of these, orange, blue, and red, you'd see your numbers get really consistent. The difference between the orange was 1 RPM.
Huh.
Just 1 rotation. It's kind of
That is pretty cool. I've never
but
seen
you're
that before.
but you're either by you're 165 plus or minus, so you're really seeing a lot of good things happen. Another fun one. I've been using hang time recently. You want every club in the air about 7 seconds.
Oh.
If it's below 7 in a driver, landing angle's getting shallow. If it's 8, it's spinning and up in the air. So
Awesome.
to recap, ball speed didn't change a ton, but went up. Launch angle changed a lot. That's us going from, you were in a 9-degree kick down. I went back to A1 and back weighted it. So we kind of hit you with a 1-2 punch. That's where your 2 degrees of launch comes from. And that's where your 300 RPMs of spin comes from. Peak height is great. You like it up in the air because it's sailing. You go from average 266 to 278. To be more fair, when you hit your driver really well, you were 275 and 279. So on your good shots, yes, you're maximizing efficiency because you're well fit and you know what you're doing. You can play golf well. It's, for you, a better player, it's how do I eliminate these misses and keep myself in the momentum of the round going? And that's the collection of all these shots. And we were playing around with some weights just to see what feels good.
Right.
So all really good.
No, it's awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
You're
It
welcome.
was a lot of fun.
That was fun.
All right, everybody, comment your gamer driver below for a chance to win your custom fit GTS driver. We'll announce the winner in 2 weeks on our next video.